Culture is not a rigid construct. Culture changes, culture evolves, identities change, values change. What used to be considered Italian, let's say 100 years ago, is no longer considered Italian. And part of that journey of change involves understanding the influence of international forces, including migration, in the issue of evolving identity and national, the image of yourself.
So that is not something to preserve, in your opinion?
I think preservation is fossilization. Preservation belongs in a museum. It doesn't belong on the streets.
So you think that history teaches us that cultures are not inevitable and fixed entities?
Not. Yeah. It's a very good question. Cultures are nimble. They're evolutionary. They change. Values. Just think of values. Values have changed. Our language has changed. Everything is constantly changing. Why should culture not change?
So do you want to share with us something about Italian politics? Because we have a debate now about saving operations in the Mediterranean Sea, and it is very criticized by some parts of the opposition because they say that that kind of operation can improve can be a stimulus to many more immigrants illegally in the Italian borders.
And we've had great conversations about this at the conference. But here's what I would say. In the first line, if someone's life is in danger, it's a human imperative to save that life. It's a human imperative. Forget national border. In the second line, though, I do believe that the way to resolve this issue is not by functioning in Italy or in Italian borders, but to go to the source countries and to try and mitigate the conflict in the source countries or some of the immediate receiving countries around those source countries, because they are the ones who really step up to the plate. I mean, you look at, today we learned that 1 in every 5 people in Lebanon is a refugee. Lebanon doesn't get recognized, Lebanon doesn't get supported. So I think we need to not just think of our own borders and our own security and our own resources, but also consider what is happening in the countries of conflict, the countries around the countries of conflict, and sort of make it more of a multilateral, international kind of project. And maybe this is being romantic, I don't know, but you have to work at all levels. So I would say you have to save that person who is drowning. That's a human imperative. To let someone die makes human beings into not human beings. To deal with them fairly once they're on your borders, that's an issue of regulation and governance. But to also help the countries of conflict around, because frankly, you ask these people, would you rather live in Italy or would you rather live back home in Syria? And I can tell you, I've been a refugee. I know what it's like. The answer will always be home is better. So help people live at home.